Ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? In 2016, I saw a band that was legendary in its efforts and work in the Bay Area thrash scene that took over the 80s. And they were a bunch of 14, 15-year-old kids then that started a band called Death Angel in 1982. Having backing from the notorious Kirk Hammett at the time, the guys released an album called Ultraviolence that changed the course of thrash in 87. They took the world by storm, but a hiatus and a breakup in 1991 made it look gloomy. However, thanks to the Thrash of the Titans cancer benefit show from Testament frontman Chuck Billy, Death Angel reunited. And, lucky for us, their string of albums after 2004 Art of Dying, and all the way up to now 2019's ninth studio album, Humanicide, that's dropping May 31st next month. The members of Death Angel are back together. And right now, I'm here with the marvelous, the coolest, and the nicest guy, Ted Aguilar. Sir, how you doing?
Doing good. What an intro, bro.
Well, thank you, good sir.
What an intro. You've done your homework. I like
tried
that.
to. First things first, I gotta know, why do we not have a Death Angel song with your last name on it? Because you have a very metal name, Aguilar.
Oh, right on. Well, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe I might write one for myself, but that's kind of like cheesy. But I'm glad you like the last name.
You guys are awesome guys, and growing
Thanks.
up, it meant a little more to me because music's universal.
It
gets
is
all
universal.
around.
It is universal. And music, especially metal, it's a lifestyle, man. It's not something you come in and out of. Either got to be in your blood, or once you get in, you can't get out. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can't be one of those like, oh, I used to be in metal. You know what? That's cool. I mean, but some people grow out of it, and there's lifers like us. And there's also fans out there who are lifers, which is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's another boost to like, hey, I'm not alone. That's the one thing about
Exactly.
metal. Some way you're alienated, whether you're popular or not. Something about it brings you together for a family.
Unity, baby.
Amen. Just thinking about it, you were a fan of these guys when they released their first demo. You literally watched them the first time around, and then the second time you got invited to play with them.
Yeah.
And now you're a very core part of this band. How does it feel looking back then, not knowing that you were going to be a part of Death Angel, and now that you're here, like, you're one of those faces that people see and it's like, oh my God, it's Ted. Oh.
It's surreal, really. It's surreal. I mean, like, I've been a fan since Killers 1 demo. I actually saw them on the Ultraviolence album cycle when they played San Francisco. It was like July 7th or 14th, 1987. It was for the Voracious Souls video shoot.
Right.
And I remember it was Death Angel Violence. And the opening band was a band from Fresno, California called Betrayal. And it was funny. I was telling the story to Mark and Rob. We were playing Colorado Springs at the Black Sheep, and we were in our bus, and we were, and there was a long line, and there was people in front. I go, did you know I was the first one in line at your show at the Stone in 1987 for the Voracious Souls video shoot?
Yo, man.
Yeah, it's surreal, man. I mean, you know, they were my band under Metallica at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Metallica's still my band. It's a trip, knowing these guys, having to play with them, even with the ex-members as well. And every time I'm on stage and we hit an old song like Mistress of Pain or something, or Seemingly Endless Time, it brings me back to a time like, I remember watching this on MTV, or
Yeah.
I was at the show, and, you know,
Good memories.
Yeah, it's good memories.
Speaking of that, you're an interesting guitarist to me.
Good or bad?
In a good way. In a good way. But I get a little confused because your influences, Metallica, Judas Priest,
Yeah.
British New Wave, metal.
Yeah.
And then I watch you play. You're considered a rhythm guitarist.
Yes.
When I read that. But then when I see you play, you have elements that aren't rhythm at all. You can solo. You
Yeah.
can come in at certain times. And you do what I like to call the Kurt Hammett effect. James will start playing a song,
Yeah.
and then Kurt will be that little right behind it, and
Yeah.
then they both start playing together, and
Yeah.
then Kurt goes into a solo. So I wanted to know what makes you believe you're more a rhythm guitarist than a lead guitarist, and how do you base yourself around the songs Rob writes?
Good question. James is my man, dude. He's my favorite guitar player. From the riffs he writes, one of the amazing riffs, even his guitar tone as well. And also, James is one of those where he does a few leads every now and then, and I do the same thing. And when it comes down to me, I do a few leads on past previous albums. It's Rob's call. Rob's more the mad scientist when it comes to writing. Then when we come down to when all the rhythm tracks are done recording, Rob kind of figures out, like, I think this part right here, maybe you should take a lead, or on this song we should trade off. So he knows, he has a vision of where I should come in and what part I should take and where we should trade off. I leave that up to Rob.
And I also like the idea that I have so many effects from different musicians.
It's all good.
But the Steve Harris effect.
Okay.
Steve is basically the gets the last say in Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Rob gets the last say for Death Angel.
Yes.
But what I heard and read was you guys get the tapes from him. Hey, here are the riffs, play around with it.
Yeah.
And then when we come together, show me what you got. He listens to everybody, and then then says, okay, that's great, or no, let's try this.
Exactly. Rob's really open-minded. When it comes down to writing, Rob writes all this stuff, right? He has a vision, and we kind of want to see where the vision's going first. Rob goes, this is what I'm thinking, this is where I think it's going, and we do it. Then after several tries of doing it, then we start throwing in ideas. Oh, how about we extend this part real quick? Maybe we should cut this part, and he'll listen. Sometimes Rob will go, yeah, you're right, or no, I want to go further. But it all really depends. It usually comes right after Mark lays down the vocals. Because when Mark lays down the vocals, things could totally change. You know, sometimes you're like, man, I'm going to do a part right here. Then Mark lays down a killer vocal line. You go, oh, dude, let me figure out, like, I'm not going to do that part right there because that vocal line's badass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we usually wait till all the vocals are done, really, to start doing some cool stuff.
Now, there are certain guitarists that really search for tone, and then there are certain guitarists that just jack in and then go.
Yeah.
You're one of those guitarists. You said you're 40-something now, and you finally have the rig of your dreams.
Yes.
And I was curious, everybody you meet probably plays an instrument and has a fascination of messing with it. But for me, I just wanted to go. Give me a crunch sound. I don't care after that. But as a guitarist in a band like this, finding your own sound, what finally made you say, okay, this is what I like?
Messing around with a lot of stuff. I mean, I've gone through so many amps and configurations, and you know, and just reading up. I'm a gearhead. I love gear more than I do guitars. I like to see how people set up their stuff, why they set it up that way. Excuse me, and people always talk about amps, and I'm a Mesa amp. Right. Through and through, because Metallica uses Mesa amps. See, they're my go-to in tone, because they have the best guitar tone, hands down. When you listen to Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets, it crushes, and when you hear them live, Jesus Christ. I'm a gearhead. I like to tinker with things, like combine heads and, you know, process of elimination. How about this head and this head? But it always comes back to the Mesa head. I have a Mesa head, I go, cool, this is killer. But, you know, latest and greatest always comes out, and people always say, you got to try this, you got to try that. And I try it, because you always have to have an open ear and open mind to trying things, but I always end up coming back to the Mesa. Then I just start tinkering with things like effects. Some of our set has clean tones. I'm going to try this chorus pedal, that chorus pedal. Like, I tinker with all the chorus pedals, delays, and you just kind of find the right one. Then, boom, I finally got what I want.
Are you looking to do any side projects of making your own amps, pedals, anything like that? Or at least do a guide for anybody on YouTube? Be like, hey, listen, guys, this is what I like, but you also want to check this out because this is what I've been studying.
I thought about that, but everyone in the band has their own little side projects. Rob has his own acoustic thing. Will plays in quite a few bands. You know, Mark does Metal Allegiance. And I was thinking about that, but I want to get into more movies. I want to get into, like, maybe being in films or maybe writing a script or something. Because I love movies. I love going to movies. And when I go to movies, I like the experience of a theater. And when I watch a movie, I always really pay attention to the edits. You know, wow, they edited that pretty good. Or what's the story about? Wow, that story's cool. Why did they pick that actor? All that stuff. It's like, you know, it's a different world, but kind of the same as music, you know? Like, you make a movie, it's making an album.
But there's a certain way to do it correctly.
Yeah, I want to do it because I'm a big movie freak.
Did you study anything? Because I did a couple of classes in my undergraduate, dissected and looked at how lighting, scenes, different camera angles all mattered. Did you do anything of the sort?
No, I don't. It's self-taught. Like right now, I'm working with my light guy. We have a new light guy. In the band, I'm into more of the production part of it. Making sure everything's running, dealing with the crew, you know, making sure the whole operation's running right. Now we have this light guy here, and I'm, all right, man, here's a set list right here. On this part of the song, I want a cue where spotlight's on Rob. Then I start the song, I need the spotlight on me. And then when Will's doing his drum fill, all the spotlight's got to be on him. You know, I'm into that type of stuff because, like with movies or when I go to a show, I pay attention to the production aspect. Like, wow, look at the lights and how does it sound? That whole thing. I mean, I like the band, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's just when I see a full production, that's what grabs me. It's like a movie. Star Wars would suck without all that special effects. You get what I'm saying? I mean, the story's cool, but come on, you got to put some little...
Brings it to life.
And I like to do that in music with the lights. Oh, man, this song has kind of like this dark vibe. Let's throw some blue and red. I want to do that maybe one of these days, but I want to check out the movie industry.
Okay. Last gear question. They call it Whitey, your guitar. Just straight white, and it was custom. I was wondering what the story was behind that, because what I found interesting was it has one pickup. For me, I like having two pickups. I never used the top pickup, but I wanted to know what the process was.
I wanted something different. My wife goes, why don't you get an all-white guitar? You know what? That might be cool, because everyone has black or some sort of color or whatnot. I just wanted something that stands out. It's a weird saying. I wanted something metal but non-metal. The one pickup thing, I just wanted something simple. One pickup, one volume knob. And it sounds really good and it stands out. When you go up on stage, it's like white. I mean, I know there's bands that, people go, well, Buckethead had one. Yeah, but you know what? I didn't try to emulate them. I just wanted an all white. But then again, how many people have all black guitars? And I know you mentioned you like the two pickups. I do have a all white telly with two pickups. Sometimes I do use that on songs that we're not playing tonight for a clean tone because it gives it a warm sound. But with the one pickup, you get that extra wood. That gives it the more punchy sound. Because when you have, the neck pickup, you have to cut out the wood. And, it gives it a different tone. With the one pickup, you get more wood. So, to me, it gives you that punchy sound.
Got it. We're going to hit the album right after this. But you mentioned something that I always feel is very important to ask musicians that are married. You guys are touring like crazy. You had a show yesterday. You're heading to Pittsburgh tomorrow. Yeah. And you guys are just nonstop. And touring takes a toll on marriages, takes a toll on families. And I just wanted your personal experience, a quick little show like, hey, this is how me and my wife communicate. This is how we still stay strong in our bond. Yeah.
Well, every couple is different. When me and my wife got together, she knew I wanted to be a touring musician in the metal band. So she was very supportive of that. Of course, it's very hard when we first went on tour and it was rigorous, long. We had our ups and downs, don't get me wrong. But I think the key to it is honesty and communication. And being on the same page. Because she travels too. She works in corporate America. Tech company, so she travels just as much as I do, maybe a little less, traveling around the world. She understands it in a way. I think it's about being supportive, honesty and communication, and being involved in each other's lives. She could come out to any show she wants. She could come out to any gig around the world if she likes. It's being involved. Some people stray away, it's a different lifestyle, blah, blah, blah. To each his own. But to me, my wife knows what the hell's going on. And it's a good vacation for her. You just got to talk it out and make it work. You got to talk about the pros and cons. You all have to be on the same page. That's what it is, just like with any relationship. You have to be on the same page, and you have to talk about it. Sometimes things are uncomfortable to talk about, but you got to talk about it if you want to make it work. In order for your band to work, your lifestyle to work, your home lifestyle has to work. You get what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
We've been together like 24 years strong. Thank you. So we had our rough times, don't get me wrong. Gone to some dark places, but we managed to pull ourselves out. And sometimes you got to go through the bad to get to the good. But we hung in there. We knew. It's one of those things like, I hate you, but I'm stuck with you the rest of my... But you know what I'm saying? In a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way. So we did it, and I'm proud of us.
That's what I've been saying. I just need a girl. I'll be like, damn it. Well, I'm stuck.
You know what? It's about honesty and communication. Sometimes you got to communicate. Sometimes there's things you don't want to communicate because it hurts, but you got to let it out. It'll hurt for a bit, but we get over it. We're only human. As long as we understand each other, like, okay, you know your boundaries, you know what buttons to push and not, it works for us that way.
That's wisdom I think people really need.
Yeah, you know, fail fast and learn quickly. The only way to succeed is you got to fail. Right. But that's just coming from my point of view. I'm not saying it's going to work for everyone, but I think people should have an open mind to try it.
Moving on to the brand new album next month.
Humanicide.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You guys have done a really good job with the promotion, keeping it to a limit.
Yes.
You guys have released the video of you guys playing the title track, and then you did a short little video on saying like, hey, this is what the recording process was.
Yeah.
But I wanted to know, how did you guys look at Death Angel? Because you said every album is a progression of Death Angel.
Yes.
And considering where the last ones were, how widely praised they were, where would you say Death Angel is now in its journey as far as this album is?
Wow, dude, good question. I think we're at its strongest. I mean, it's the fourth album with the same lineup. That's the longest running lineup in any of the Death Angel lineups, even in the original lineup. And when you've been together this long, you know each other musically and personally. You know what buttons to push, what not. You know how to give each other space. You know how to write music together. You know how to play on stage together, and that's really important. You know how to live together, for Christ's sakes, on a bus.
Which you did mention, you got to know what buttons not to push.
Yeah, you got, because everyone's different. Everyone, I'll tell you this, everyone thinks they're the easiest person to deal with on the road. I'll bet you my guys probably think, it's fucking hard to deal with, and I'm probably thinking the same way with the others. But I think musically we're on top of our game right now. I mean, on this record especially, you could hear everyone's personalities on this record. You could just hear it. I mean, the other records you could, but this one you could just kind of go, whoa, yeah, man. You could hear everyone's influences on each other because everyone has a different style of playing. There's some parts Damien's doing some stuff. You go, oh man, look, you could hear Damien go off. You know, you could hear everyone. It's just not one-sided in a sense. You could hear everyone. You're like, fuck yeah. So I think that's where we are right now.
One thing somebody mentioned when I was talking about the album is usually tours, you play the new stuff before it drops to see how the crowd reacts. And I have to apologize. I don't look at set lists because I like the surprise.
Thank you.
I figured it was a lot of confidence for you guys to just say, we're going to go ahead, do some of the songs, not all of them, not a wide array until it's time after it releases. I was very curious, out of what you've recorded, what songs did you get and just go, oh my God? Because some of these songs, I Came for Blood, Alive and Screaming, The Pack, which we're going to get to with the social media, but Ghost of Me, some of these sound a little brutal. And I'm like, considering how skilled you are as a musician, what song was the challenge? Like,
on this album?
Yes, sir.
My favorite song on the album is Immortal Be Hated. And when you hear that song, oh man, it's dark and deep. Dude, you could feel it, bro. I mean, it's a musical journey. You know, because this album to me is like a variety. We ventured into territories we never ventured into before, and we revisit territories we haven't visited. We were able to hit these certain territories like, whoa, that's new to us. And we were like, dude, it felt good. We were able to combine both of them. I mean, Immortal Be Hated is my favorite track. It's just, it's so heartfelt, and man... And I'm a guy that likes songs when the lyrics are good and Mark's singing it like you could really feel it. And that's the one where I go, hell yeah. That's my favorite song on the record.
Now, what about to play? Because some songs, they're different to hear and different to play.
Yeah. Right now, my favorite song to play off the new record is Humanicide. Humanicide.
That was a fun little diddly watching you guys.
It's, like, it's fun, but it's a hard song to play.
How do you keep your guitar skills going? Because Rob likes to experiment, especially the thing that kills me is the different tuning.
Yeah.
But just understanding music, what is something that you do to try and keep your chops alive, other than the normal, do your scales, do this? Like, how do you expand on your knowledge of music?
You know, playing other songs, cover tunes.
Okay.
Jamming, you know, you learn from other musicians. There's times where Will has his band called My Three Sons, which is him and his brothers. They go play covers. And he'll ask me, why don't you play a couple of cover tunes with us? And when you play a couple of cover tunes, you learn new things. Mm-hmm. And you pick up how other people play. You go, what'd you do there? You know, and you just apply it to your own. Even when we have to learn our old catalog, just learning it, you go, what is that riff? Then you kind of like, okay, I'm going to try to make a riff out of this riff or twist it around. You know, having fun learning cover songs, that's basically it. Not only metal, but maybe outside of metal, because you get cool ideas to make things heavier. Sometimes when you go listen to other songs, you learn like cool arrangement ideas. Like Alive and Screaming on the record, I wrote that song. And I got the arrangement ideas off like a Megadeth Metallica song. I like how they arranged that. I'm going to do that with the riffs I wrote. But also like there's other songs where you get ideas. Me and Rob listen to a lot of like Bruno Mars and shit like that.
And Adele. And did you get to see Muse yet? Because I remember you...
Rob saw Muse. I'm pissed because he saw him 3 times, dude. And I heard they're probably one of the best live bands to see.
Their bassist, I haven't seen them live, but watching their bassist is just such a trip.
Yeah, Muse is amazing, dude. But I haven't seen them, but I plan to see them soon. You know what I mean? Yeah. One of my favorite newer bands.
Now, just talking about what you've been through and all the other side projects the band has, you also are in charge of all social media for the band.
Yeah, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I do it all.
And that's a shitload of stuff.
Yeah, and I try to answer everyone's messages.
So how did that come apart? Because people that aren't familiar with you guys don't know that the Pact is actually the fan service website.
And we're trying to rebuild it right now. I mean, we've slacked a little because, you know, we're still trying to figure everything out. You know, when you have bands and big record labels who handle everything for you, and we're doing everything ourselves, and we're slowly learning, because sometimes you go, we gotta play, we gotta write, we gotta do the social media. So for all you fans out there, we're doing our best to get it up and running. Just be patient. I think social media is really important, and you know, I love the fans. You know, when I get messages, I try to answer as much as I can to them. It's really important to stay connected to them. It really is.
How did you fall into that? Did no one pick up that particular, hey guys, we have no social media, hey, I'll get it? Did you just hop on it, or did somebody ask you? How did you?
We know we had to get it, so we all got it, but I'm the one that took the reins, like, I'm gonna do it, man, I'll do posts. Rob and Mark post every now and then, but I'm pretty much the one that does all the stories, the posts, and retweets, and shares, and whatnot.
Right. So, I was very curious. I've been searching for how you guys started doing the Christmas show, and I never really was able to find anything that explained it.
Based on the Beatles, another Beatles Christmas show.
Okay.
They used to do a lot of them in Liverpool, and we're big Beatles fans, so we go, let's do something like that. So it's another Death Angel Christmas show, and every year we play a cover, and we play a Beatles song.
Okay.
In tribute to the Beatles. So the idea was from them.
Who's your favorite Beatle?
I like Lennon, John Lennon. What are you, a McCarthy fan?
I am a Ringo fan.
Oh, okay.
But I am biased. I'm not thinking of the musical aspect. I'm thinking of his legacy.
Okay.
Like, they're going to be remembered, but he's got the most money. He did the most stuff. He's still touring with all these other musicians.
Gotcha.
And I just feel like he was able to take more out of it when people were calling for him to, get him off the stage. Where's the other drummer? They were trying to crucify him, and he came from that and ended up being one of the...
The underdog made it.
Exactly.
Okay, I gotcha. I like John Lennon because of the songwriting.
You're also well-traveled. Like, you've been to Holland. Did you ever make it to Greece?
Yes, one time.
One time? Where else would you like to go?
I've never been to South Africa.
You guys didn't play that? Fell through?
No, we never been to South Africa. I want to go to Russia. We haven't been to Russia. Every band's been to Russia, for some Christ's sake. I want to go to the Middle East, man.
Middle East?
I want to go to the Middle East. It seems like a troubled part of the world, and I'd like to bring music there to get people to release all that oppression. You know, I think music, especially metal music, does that, or any music. You go to a place and you see people waiting for you, and they feel good when you play, and they just release that. That's my goal. One of my bucket lists in life is to be able to play the Middle East, Afghan, Iraq, Iran, Libya, and all these places. If they have shows like us, to get all these people to come together and just release, man, and get that all out, and hopefully go home and feel like there's hope in their life.
So charities, usually musicians have the different things they do. Some people like dogs, some people like helping kids.
I'm a dog freak, dude.
Do you do dog charities? Or
I haven't. I plan to. I have one of these days, and when I have time, I have these memorabilias. I have duplicates that I maybe want to auction off and find a good rescue place where I could donate some money for dogs who need homes. There's good dogs out there that they could get, and I think it's very important for, especially, I'm a dog lover. I mean, I have a lab at home. I had multiple labs at one point in my life. Dogs are good, man. They make it stress-free. You need stress-free life, and dogs give you that. Dogs give you unconditional love, and, everyone needs that unconditional love. Sometimes humans can't give it, but a dog can, and it feels good. And it feels good for everyone to feel that unconditional love, and a dog does give that to you, and it feels good. I think everyone should experience that.
Moving over back to your musicianship, been with a lot of people, man. A lot of idols. A lot of people look up to them. I was wondering, as a musician, what was the best compliment or compliments that come to mind readily when, someone walks up, hey, man, you did good. Not the usual, like, hey, you're doing good, man, do your thing, but something that really stuck to you. Like, if Kurt Hammett walked up, he's like, yo, bro, honestly, want to tell you, you're so talented. Something like that.
Man, why are you asking all these hard, good questions, dude? We receive a lot of compliments, but I think the best compliment is when people come to the show. Really. We heard it all. Great band, good playing, but the compliment of people taking the time out of their day to come see you play. I think that's a good compliment to me. Yeah, we do get individual compliments. Oh, you played good, you guys rock, you're a shredder, this and that. And I appreciate it all, but I'm looking at it as a whole. Like, we're up there, and all these people came, whether it's 50 to 100, whatever. The fact that they came, I'm flattered. Thank you for showing up. And I was hanging out at the merch booth last night in Baltimore, people supporting and buying the merch. That made us feel good, because that's what keeps us going, man. That's a compliment in itself, and we do not take that for granted whatsoever. That's what keeps us going, and that's what keeps us coming back.
And that's what I love, because you mentioned it in other interviews, man. You guys will go out there, you'll talk to them, You will still have that fire to be hungry, because that's why you think Death Angel's still progressing and getting better and better and better, because you guys are still hungry, you still want it.
Yeah, we're still hungry. We love to do it. It's hard to explain, it's just, we love to do it, and we were able to adjust our lifestyle. You know what I mean? It's not one of those where we wanted to do this, so we had to just we better not get a full-time job, or we can't get caught up in corporate America, we can't get caught up in this and that, so we had to adjust our lifestyle to be able to be metal musicians. You know what I mean?
Man, it's been so long since I've had a musician just tell me go ahead for the interview. It's a weird feeling.
Put it this way, dude. Here's my rule of thumb. I don't like to keep the press waiting. I don't want to keep the fans waiting. And if I could give you as much time as I can, I will.
I appreciate that. Reading an interview and actually watching one, you stated 3 pet peeves you have. One was godliness. The other was
cleanliness,
and tardiness. I'm going off script. I'm not looking. I'm trying to remember. And you explained the other two.
Cleanly, you gotta be clean. I mean, you know, it's just a saying. I mean, I don't like late people. Be clean. Basically, it's the late part. It's. You know, I'm an on-time guy, and I try to be on time as much as I can. Of course, things happen like traffic,
right,
a flat tire, or something an emergency. But come on, man. Come on, right?
When I was reading for the YouTube video, you didn't define godliness. When you say godliness, do you mean just be personable to people, or was that a religious connotation?
No, not religious. It's a weird twist that I see. It's like I'm into whatever you want to believe.
Okay.
Whatever you want, whatever makes you a good person. I just don't want it slammed down my throat.
That's fair.
That's it. You know, I could hang out with anybody. You know, I don't care what you believe in. I don't care what you look like. I don't care. Just don't slam it down my throat. Because that's what kills us in this world. I mean, you could have a different political, religious belief than me, and we could agree to disagree all day. Then we'll just find something to agree upon. Metal. You get what I'm saying?
Indeed.
For example, someone in the Middle East, they were born and raised there. They believe in Allah. Mm-hmm. Me, someone born and raised in America. I was raised Catholic. Who am I to say mine is better than yours? Hey, man, whatever makes you a good person, not hurt any animals or kids, I'm all with you, man.
I love it. Being a tour schedule and just grinding, what do you do to stay, I want to say fit, but also keep your mind from going crazy?
I try to wake up early. I'm not a guy I don't party. I don't dabble into the drinking. There's nothing wrong with it. My boys like to get down and drink, have a good time, let loose on the bus. It's just not my thing. If I can, I'd like to check out the sights. You know, I like to hang out with the crew, and I just try to stay active. Make sure everyone's doing their job. You know what I mean? Make sure everyone's doing their job now.
For people that don't know, I got here early, and you walked past me. I shook your hand.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew who I was.
I didn't, actually.
But I didn't want to bother you because I knew you only had so much time, free time in the city. What are some places in Philadelphia that you've been to that when you had that free time visiting, you were able to find? Or if anything random?
No, nothing. I know Mark left to go see the Rocky statue. I don't know how far that is. Rocky's his man.
It's a walk.
Okay, I mean, he's probably going to Uber or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I haven't had a chance because you know some of the places played the Troc. That was in
Trocadero.
That was like in Chinatown. Yep. Usually.
God, that must have been a great show.
Yeah, we played there fucking 9 years ago with Soilwork. We played the Electric Factory one time?
Yes, it just changed it to the Franklin's.
And we played here. This is our second time playing at the TLA. But it's usually like, you know, if I get a chance, I'll go. But most of the time, I just want to see what's local. In America, there's only so much, you know? For an example, we played Buffalo many years ago. I rented a cab. I go, dude, Niagara Falls is only 40 minutes away. Yeah, I'll go see that. But Philly, I know I'm going to check out that Philly cheesesteak at the corner, dude. You know what I mean? Everyone.
Security guard told you about it.
Yeah, but, you know, just basically walking around, checking out the vibe of the city, checking out the stores. And are you from Philly?
I'm from South Jersey.
Okay.
This is home to me.
It's in other countries where I like to. Well, remember, we had a day off in Rome. Come on.
Coliseums.
Vatican.
Statues.
You know. And sometimes you have a day off in England, you go Big Ben, Houses of Parliament. I don't know what others is going on here in Philly other than the Rocky statue, but
cool, my man. Let me school you after the interview. We got some stuff.
Okay, see, I don't know, you know. I mean, I just usually walk around the venue, and I know Damien right now has a bike, and he just bikes.
And goes over.
He just keeps going and finds places. So he's good about that. I'm not.
I used to do cross country, and a girl I knew. I hate that sport. I did 4 years in college, but she said make every journey something you learn from.
Yeah.
She said wherever you go, just randomly walk, no matter how much time, and you'll find something. It always happens.
That's what I do. You know, I mean, it may not be some of the major sites or whatever, but Jersey, you could tell the difference between Jersey and San Francisco people. You get what I mean? New Yorkers.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, getting to meet different people and just checking out the vibe and, you know, checking out some of the local foods too, you know, and checking out some of the local coffee other than Starbucks. Mom and pop shops. I like checking out mom and pop shops. Support them. That's what I like to do, you know, when I get a chance.
Were your parents supportive of you?
Hell no. I mean, my mom was it. I mean, I come from a Filipino background. I'm a first generation American. My mom came from the Philippines, and at the time, yeah, I mean, my mom, like, she wanted me to be a nurse, just like all her cousins and my cousins, and we got into a lot of fights about it because I wanted to be a musician. To her, you know, musician at the time in the early 80s, like, you're not going to make money out of that. You got to find a stable job, blah, blah, blah. Looking back at it now, I can't fault her. I can't get mad at her. She was just doing what a mom's got to do, look out for a kid. But now she's supportive now, so she's cool about it. She, oh wow, you get to travel, you get to play your instrument, and
And give back to her.
Yeah, she's happy for me. Like, well, that's good. You get to see the world. You only live once, and you get to do it doing the thing you love. I mean, nothing against the medical field and all. I have cousins and relatives who are badass nurses, and they love it. But it just wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. I just had to follow my own path, and sometimes parents are not supportive. Sometimes they are, but like I said, coming from my mom's old school Filipino, get a job, have kids, get married, get a house type deal. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not it just wasn't my thing. And I have nothing against it.
What was that one breaking moment for you? That one story, everyone's like, oh, I did this and I knew I was going to be a guitarist for life. What was that one story that broke you? Like, oh my God, should I really even continue doing this? You could tell me both stories.
I had an older brother who played an instrument, so I was always trying to hang out with him and his old friends, when you're a young kid, and I want to hang out with my older brother, idols. So he got into music. He was into Zeppelin, Sabbath, and Journey. But I also had friends in the neighborhood I kind of like hung out with who got me into like Metallica, Venom, and that made it feel like I discovered that, not my brother. It's like,
it's mine.
Yeah, it's mine. So that, and I just started hanging around with them because they were like trying to start up their bands. I was just a little kid hanging out. Then they would tell me about, hey, we got to go see some shows, and there's this record store that sells demos and vinyls. They showed me, and that was the path right there. Like, I was discovering things. But, during the time, there was times where I put down the guitar. I go, man, I'm getting burnt out. I got a corporate gig, but I still played for fun. Then, I did a lot of local shows with a lot of local bands. It was fun and all until Rob called me and goes, hey, we're getting back together. Gus Peppa can't do it. You want to do it? I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
So you said corporate. Did you go to college for?
No, dude. I was in corporate America. I was an IT dude. Could you imagine that?
Actually, that makes sense with the gear now.
Yeah, I was an IT dude. Well, I started working in the warehouse. I worked for this women's handbag company called The Sack. I started in the warehouse and I moved up into the office. Okay. And all of a sudden, I just had this thing of how to build PCs and Macs and servers.
Can you also code?
No, that's the only thing I can't do.
Pain in the ass,
My wife codes. She knows how to code.
God bless her.
She knows how to code. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm more of the IT dude back then where, oh man, could you rebuild this laptop from scratch? Yeah, I could do that. Or the server. Yeah. But technology's moved so much, I wouldn't know what the fuck's going on. Coding and all that.
But think about it. You grew up in the golden age of that time. Apple was dropping like crazy. Microsoft was coming out. So it's interesting to know that like you were there with that team of the 80s kids, the 90s, building and creating.
Yeah, like here's a laptop. Here's some CDs. Build it, like all this stuff. But when it comes to like building a website, I could do it like on Dreamweaver, old school Dreamweaver, right, or Wix or something. But to build something from scratch with coding is like not my thing, bro.
Fair enough. Best piece of advice that you've been given or want to give readily available?
You gotta live, man. You gotta live your life, dude. Seriously. I mean, life is a trip. You're gonna go through some tough, bumpy roads, smooth roads. You're gonna make mistakes, but you gotta enjoy life, man. We're only on this planet once. And, you don't want to look back and say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Some people go, I wish, I regret this and that. Sometimes I don't believe in regret, man, because sometimes you do bad things to get to the good things. Life is a lesson. You learn a lot of shit. And, I look back and go, I did a lot of stupid shit, but it brought me where I am. Fail fast, learn quickly, try to be good to everyone, be open-minded, have a good time. Where this world is going, man, it seems like it's declining in a way. So you might as well have a good time and have a good time with some good people. Surround yourself with good energy, good positive people, you know what I mean? Try not to let small stuff, don't sweat off that, Don't trip. If there's a negative vibe around you, just go. Stay away and just live life good, Eat well, try to stay healthy, have a good time, man, because it could be all over like that.
Amen. Good sir, thank you so much for not only sitting with me, your time, your patience, God, your eye contact during the interview. You are on fire.
Thanks, man. The questions were great. You did your homework. I've done some shitty interviews. Let me shake your hand, bro.
Thank you so
much.
Good
interview,
it means
man.
so much.
I'm looking forward to sharing this with the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ted Aguilar of Death Angel. I'm going to see him tonight with my buddy Zach. Oh my God, it's such stacked in TLA. It's a rainy day, but remember, a rainy day is always a good day.
That's right. Every day above ground is a good day. If you're healthy and happy, if you wake up every day and everything's working and you're alive and you could walk up, everything in front of you is nothing.
Before you go, can I get an ID from you,
Sure.
please?
Let's do this. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Ted from Death Angel, and you're listening to John the Ninja, the man I just sat down and talked to. Cool cat. You got to check him out. Straight out of Philly, just like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Thank you so much, sir.